In any astrology program, the first place that you basically see differences is with data entry. And when I first started working with the cosmic pattern software at the version Kepler 7, I found that at first the data entry screen was a little bit confusing. And of course it was confusing because it wasn't the Solar Fire interface that I was used to. So what I'd like to take you through here is the data entry screen for Sirius, so that you can see how it differs from Solar Fire and how to do data entry properly. So when you compare Solar Fire to Sirius, Solar Fire uses two different data entry screens depending on whether you're putting in brand new data or whether you're opening data that is already on your disk. So to use the shortcuts, F2 is for new data entry, or F3 is to open already existing data. In Sirius, those two are combined into a single data entry screen that handles both functions, as you'll see. Now, here is that combined screen, and I haven't done anything yet. This is just as I've gone into it, and it's already defaulted to today's date and time, and this is the time that is my computer system clock. So I'm going to start to fill this in. Now, if I wanted to pull up an existing chart, I would simply start typing in the name, and you'll see on the right-hand side this box that starts with AB Electrolux IPO is actually a listing of all the charts that are available in Sirius at this time. Now, if I were to type a name such as you see in the little box of list of entries, Bush, comma, George, it would pull up names like that, and I could simply highlight that name and pull it up. So I would be done with my data entry. Now, I'm going to show you new data entry, and so I have to do something a little differently. So here I have a horary that I'm going to put in, and so I'm starting to enter it. Will I get the job? And there's my date and time, and I have to fill in the AM or PM. And then I get to my place. Now, this is where Sirius works a little differently, because as I start typing the name, this box comes up showing all these different places that match the name as I've typed it. And so I'm typing along. My city is Fairview, North Carolina. But North Carolina has 6 different Fairviews, and so I actually have to select the county. Now this is actually a little bit easier if you happen to live like I do in a town that has several in the state, because I would actually have to go to a second screen in Solar Fire to pick the county, and so here it's at least all present. Now you'll also notice that toward the right I have certain choices. I normally work with just the World Atlas because it's all there, but if I want to just look at a particular state's atlas or country atlas, I can highlight just that, and then I'll only see a subset of the cities, and so the list is a little shorter, which can be convenient too. Alright, so I've put in my city, and the next step is to put in the category. Now, categories are something that Solar Fire doesn't have. And Solar Fire doesn't have them for a reason, actually, because what is done in Sirius as the category of the data is done in Solar Fire by the fact that Solar Fire allows you to have different data files. And so if you want to categorize your data in Solar Fire, you can simply have a file. So I can have a file horary, I can have a file jobs, I can have a file relationships, I can have a file eclipses, I can have a file ingresses, and so I can very nicely categorize my data by different files. But here we do it by category. And so I want you to see something about the category names. Now, since this is a horary, I'd simply click the category horary. But if you follow down here on the list, you'll see I've got a few horary categories. I've got a sport category, and then you'll see my category number 8 and my category number 9 and my category number 10. Those are categories that I haven't assigned yet. I can actually assign these as I'm typing along by going into this box that's called highlighted category name and changing the name by using the update key. And so this allows me to add additional categories as I'm going along. And so that way I can keep my data set up so that I can later find it by category, which is the whole point of this. Alright, so I've put in my category. I'm now putting in the accuracy and I'm putting in notes. So basically all the things that I might want to put in are on the screen. Now this brings up another difference between Sirius and Solar Fire. And you'll see up here where the name was, Will I Get the Job? This name is actually only 20 characters long. And this is kind of a historical thing in terms of the earlier cosmic pattern software. Down here, I have the possibility of a longer 40-character name. Now, this is still not quite as long as the names that you can put in Solar Fire, but it's kind of intermediate. I have a couple of other options as far as research information and so forth, but these are the ones that I basically work with. Now, you'll see that I also can do such things as set the house system if I want to do a harmonic, the coordinate system that I would use, and if I'm doing sidereal, the ionamsha. So now I can check all of my data. I can hit done. It will ask me if I want to save to disk, and I can answer yes or no. And if everything has worked out correctly, I'll be at my data entry screen where now I can actually look at the chart. And so this would be the next step.